Hello, you guys. Thank you for being here. Hey, West Virginia Holler Girl. Hey, Florida Bass. Sign on Crime. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Corey. Johnny, I saw you posting all kinds of stuff last night. I loved that. You shared an old video of me and Amber and Kelly about summer, which was really cool. I was using the new emojis, and I saw some of you guys using them, which I love those. They're so cute. I'm so excited. Hey, Ashton. Hey, Punksy. Hey, Tia. Let's see. Angie. Hey, MK. Hey, Cement Shoes. Amanda Carroll. Big Boy. Ashley Oaks. Jen Lou. Hey, Heather. Hey, Snakes Peelskin. Bear of Love. Mel Mac. Spicy Sugar. Hey, Eddie. K-Brace. Crime Story Diva. So good to see you guys. Jen Lou, so you were my inspiration. Okay, so actually, hold on. I'm going to send the other ones I've used thumbnails before that were like the transparent where you could see through them. But Jen Lou did a live last night, and I loved the thumbnail, and it reminded me like how cute they are and how, so you were my inspiration, Jen Lou. Let me show you what I'm talking about because I just sent it. We have, holy cow, I have so much stuff for us to look at. Some really cool stuff like local TikTokers and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so here is the thumbnail that I used today, which first I had a different one, but then I was just playing around and I was like, that does look really cool. And I changed it. But back in the day, I did them with Quentin and this case, Lyric and Devin. Here's the Quentin ones, but they look so cool like that. And I loved your live last night. It was really good. So yeah, that's Jen Lou. Wolfie, will you drop? Hey, Wolfie, will you drop Jen Lou's channel? Pretty please. Hey, train wreck. Ooh, Amber has a live at 2. Yay! I didn't see that. Hey, Karen Canada. Love when school drop up and Alex's live line up perfectly for me. It's going to be a good day. I can't wait to show you all this stuff. I found some really unique and kind of cool, interesting stuff. And also, I mean, okay. There is, some stuff that's everywhere that I want to talk about with you guys as well. Like the Instagram reports and the reports of Bryan having gone to the restaurant a couple times. We know, and I shared with you guys way back the tweet from the restaurant who said he had never been there. It was like a post from them. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting the way things are unfolding. Let's see. Trying to look at you guys on my phone and chat. Hey, Weeping Willow. So that's Jen Lou. It says the Ward Case Studies. That's her channel. Thank you, Tia. Hey, Rescue Mom. Hey, by the way, I looked in my, can you leave me another comment? Because I have a lot of friend requests, and I want to make sure to accept yours. But, yeah, I was looking. I didn't have like any new message requests or anything, so anyways, okay, you guys, let's get right into it. Cray. I was going to take a nap. Now I am here. Well, I mean, you can hang out with us till you fall asleep. I do that anyways. I did that last night in Jen Lou's chat. I'm so glad I don't have a wrench there because we'd have a lot of people hidden and blocked and timed out that shouldn't have been because I was trying so hard to listen and I kept falling asleep with the phone in my hand. So, okay. First off, you guys remember that Murphy has the Instagram. Well, he also has a TikTok now. And we will look at that as well. I think that immediately the first thing we'll talk about are the things that are kind of widespread. I still want to hear what you guys think about it and kind of chat about it. So first, about the restaurant and the vegan pizza. And we don't have to stay here long, but just briefly. Uh-oh. Hold on.
We have a First Amendment thing that happened just a few hours ago, and it may have been because of the incredible reporting by Steve Helling. The judge in the case wants no talking at all. He wants to put a gag order on just about everyone. We have a First Amendment right. You can't gag me. You can't gag a lot of people, but the judge in the case, she can actually gag people who actually work for the court, officers of the court, attorneys on the case, prosecutors on the case, attorneys for the families, attorneys who are tangential to the parties in this case.
Very interesting, this gag order.
A lot of people. So a tougher.
So this lead. Now I want to know what you guys think about this, but this is just like the way my brain works, like common sense. So we get the reports of the Instagram stuff, right? And to be clear, those of you guys who were here with me when he was first arrested, we did a live stream, and it may have been like the first live. It wasn't the first video about it on YouTube, but I don't think anyone was live yet. And we actually searched his name. We found 3 Instagram accounts that had just been created, but they had 0 followers and they followed 0 people. Well, this other 4th Instagram account is not Bryan Kohberger. It's crim.kohberger. So it is possible that that account was following him, but we get these reports about the Instagram stuff. Then we get the reports about the Mad Greek, and then we get a stricter gag order. So do you guys think that does that lead you to believe that maybe the reports are true?
Gag order was just issued in the last few hours, making it harder to get these details.
It certainly wouldn't be the first time in this case we've heard that things are one way and then they end up being another way.
No matter, Steve Helling gets them anyway, and he joins me now. He is a senior reporter with People magazine, and he has a long history in doing crime and justice reporting, which is why he got this story. Steve, congratulations on your exclusive reporting. Really remarkable stuff.
Liza?
Walk me through what you found out.
Well, yes. I started speaking to, as you and I both did.
So the gag order is, like she said, anyone who works for the court, the family can still speak. They can't keep them from speaking. They can't keep us from speaking. They can't keep News Nation from speaking. But, anybody who works for the court, basically.
We tried to reach as many people as we could who used to work at
the way I
Mad
understand
Greek restaurant.
You guys.
And, very few people wanted to talk. But I did end up speaking to somebody who worked there until recently, who said that, yes, indeed, they did see Bryan Kohberger come there a couple of times, at least twice. And the only reason why he stood out was not because he was being creepy, not because he was doing anything weird.
Okay, so this all leads me to believe that Maddie was the target. I'm really curious what you guys think. I want to show you guys something really sweet. So Maddie's friends, I found this post in a Facebook group. It says, found these in another group, reviews for the Mad Greek restaurant where Maddie and Xana worked. These kids had each other's back. Kaylee left a review that said, my experience here was amazing. The server, Maddie, made our experience extra special. The food was amazing. The sampler platter is to die for. Hold on. That's something else we're going to look at. Then Jake left one. I always had a great experience when I stop in for dinner at Mad Greek. Maddie is a wonderful waitress, would recommend. And then Bethany left one. This place is amazing. The food was delicious, and Maddie was an amazing server. We'll be returning. Oh, welcome, you guys. Welcome, Karen Canada. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that so much. I'm glad I have my phone up so I could see that. I'm sorry, Ashton. I hope she's okay. Can you guys drop the membership link pretty, please? Was just watching The Lawyer. Family are under gag order if they are compelled to testify. Okay, interesting. They gave each other good reviews. I know. I thought that was really sweet too. Okay, let's see what else we have. I have a few things screenshot-wise to show you. Now, I have the video that's referenced here, and we can go back to it, but right now I'm not going to go to it. But in this video from ABC News at 3 minutes, 27 seconds, and it's a complete timeline of everything, they said XanasDoordash was contactless and left at the door. I don't know how they would know that to be, for certain, but that is what they said. Another thing, Murphy, Jack created this Instagram for Murphy, and they also have a TikTok now too. I think Maddie was the target, always have, and even more so now. Me too, Heather. I do. Oh, thank you, Elsie. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. By all accounts, they were good, kind, caring kids. I know they really were. And they were on a good track. It's really sad. Okay, so now I want to read, we're going to switch gears and briefly talk about the shoot. Now, remember, when Bryan and his dad got pulled over, they were talking about that incident at WSU. And we know that it was this Brent Kopaka. Someone had pointed out also in that clip, it sounds like he said we were scanning it. I'm curious if Bryan was listening to a scanner. I hope that I grabbed that clip to show you guys. But I wanted to read this because it is a friend of Brent Kopaka. So a lot of people were trying to tie the two together and try to say Brent was part of this. Brent was Bryan's friend. They were there together, blah, blah, blah. I tried over here, we didn't even go there. I just think that's so unfair to do to this young man and his family. But I want to read you guys the post from his friend. Oh, welcome, Cement Shoes. Thank you for joining. I'm going to do a members only live soon, you guys. So I've made a members post, wondering when was the best time that most of you guys would be available. I was just going to try to go with the majority. So if you want to, please leave a comment over there and let me know. Okay, so my name is Darren Duncan. I am Brent Kopaka's best friend you're all talking about. I've known this man since we were 14 years old. I talked to him nearly every day for the past 22 years. I knew him better than anyone. After the 2020 documentary was shown on January 13th, his name has been trending on all social media, trying to connect him with the Idaho 4 slayings. These are allegations from social media sleuths who have nothing else better to do with their lives. Yes, I love horror movies. This doesn't make me a criminal. Also, Brent is not a criminal. I love horror movies too. The machete was left at my house over 7 years ago when he moved out of my home. I took that photo and posted it on Facebook because I was drinking and mourning him. In hindsight, I realized it was a stupid post. I had no idea people would take it out of context and use it against him to gain likes and comments. The hollowed out grenade I posted about was a gift he gave me that can be purchased at any Army, Navy surplus store. The YouTube channel was a channel him and I used to show each other songs we enjoyed listening to. If you really paid that much attention, you would see there were several silly songs on there as well. Please stop looking for things that simply are not there to feed your own selfish agenda. You are causing trauma and severe sadness to the people that truly loved him. He was a soldier that fought and sacrificed more than any of you will ever understand. I am an open book and willing to speak to any law enforcement agencies about this. I'm also willing to speak to an attorney to sue you for slander. Your apologies are not forgiven. Please stop dragging his and my name through the mud. Let him rest in peace and let his family and friends heal and mourn. And I think that he had, a lot of issues mentally from his service. So, thank you, Cyan. Cement. What did I say? Cement or cement? Brent had a head injury and PTSD. The price he paid as a veteran. I don't think he had anything to do with the Idaho murders. Well, I just wanted you guys to hear that because it was someone who knew him firsthand. there's an article about the, oh, okay. Now, here's something I wanted to show you guys just quickly. It's a bracelet that is now for sale. It's a fundraiser for a memorial that will honor the kids. So I wanted to make sure you guys saw this. I wonder if I can get that link. Yeah, I can grab the link and actually post it in the comments too.
Long to start making changes.
Shoot, I even want one.
It has been 67 days since the tragedy at the University of Idaho. Students have returned to class, and it hasn't taken them long to start making changes in wake of the homicides. Those Vandal Strong bracelets that were handed out to people attending the vigil are now up for sale, raising money for a good cause. Please note the QR code to the right of the screen when you scan it. That'll take you, of course, to the website where you can buy those bracelets. Nonstop Locals North Idaho reporter John Webb spoke with two students who are spearheading the fundraiser. And John, those bracelets have been a hot commodity.
Yeah, they certainly have. Good evening, Steph. After I posted a picture of the bracelets on our Facebook page, I got dozens of messages asking
So that link there, let me make sure it works, but that should be the bracelet.
where they could get their own. So I relayed the message to U of I students Olivia Nemi and Caitlin Lannerman, but they were already planning to do something like this.
Yes.
I woke up to a lot of emails the next morning from people all over the country asking how they could
They're
get them.
People from across the U.S. still so engaged with what happened 2 months ago, looking for ways to help our small community.
You just can't find that anywhere.
$6 for a pack of 4. Actually, that's not bad at all. And then that link in the chat will bring you straight. It's going to give you like a page that says, are you sure you want to continue? Because it's outside of Facebook, because it's a link from Facebook. And then it's going to take you to the marketplace.uidaho.edu.
Where else?
Third year, Olivia Nemi says there was such an appetite to help the Vandal family.
To give people a sense of purpose with all of this. There's so much going on, and people just want a way to support and give back.
And now people can. This bracelet that reads Vandal Strong, the names Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee are available to purchase online. The money all going to a good cause.
Use those funds to have a memorial here on campus and something living and breathing, and a place to kind of celebrate and remember, honor our friends.
Friends who brought so much to this campus.
Detective Juan.
In return, their friends, remembering their kindness, generosity, and impact they held at the
Detective
university.
Juan, it says that it's going to a memorial. It says the fundraiser will raise money for a memorial honoring Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison. The link will close, but the end date is not exactly clear yet.
University of Idaho.
I've worn my bracelet every single day since I received it at the vigil. And it's just been one of those pieces to know that I'm carrying a little bit with them everywhere I go. So for me, it's kind of one of those mementos that I don't think I will ever take off.
Now, the online portal to buy the bracelets is active right now. You can scan that QR code on the bottom right hand of your screen. It'll take you directly to the link. We'll also post a link to it on our website. That's nonstoplocal.com. Now, this is completely a student-ran project. Each bracelet will be boxed and delivered by U of I students. You can buy 4 bracelets for just $6.
Aww.
You also have the opportunity to place additional donations on that website as well.
I love that. It's done by the students. That's really sweet. Really sweet. Here is the gag order part of it, that we were just talking about. I just had it saved here. Let's see what this is. Okay. Now this is Ethan's brother. It's his brother Eric from their father's first marriage. And these are some of his Reddit posts. And I wanted to read them to you guys. A few things about Xana is the first one. Hey, Nadie and LFT and Charlotte. Good to see you guys. Heather, hello. Hey, Ashley Oaks. If I didn't say hello to you guys, I can never wear those bracelets because my wrists are small. I think I'm gonna order some on Monday when I get paid. Okay, few things about Xana. My wife Sarah and I met Xana for 2 weeks in July this year. She was staying with Ethan at their summer home. In the beginning, she was shy at first and kept to herself while Ethan went to work. During that 2 weeks, she warmed up to us and we got to talk to her and know her better. She loved playing with our 5-year-old son. Her and Ethan would race Hot Wheels and monster trucks up and down the hallway with him all night long, so we as parents could enjoy visiting with my dad and my stepmother. They took him to get Oreo milkshakes and burgers, invited him on the boats with their friends, played in the water with him, even let our son use her phone for hours, making Snapchat funny faces with her, laughing the whole time. Oh. For those 2 short weeks, he even started calling her Banana because he could not say Xana very well. The 2 weeks we got to meet her were fantastic. The little time we did have to talk or joke around were great. She gave Ethan purpose. They had inside jokes that no one understood that made them crack up. He looked forward to getting off work as a waiter to see her. If the 2 weeks we got to meet her represent her and her life she lived, the world is missing 2 very amazing people, 2 kids in their 20s that are stripped of being great parents if they wanted that, and amazing role models for the next generation. Okay, sorry, you guys. Oh, yeah, that was really sweet. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pizza Chemist. That's really sweet. I appreciate that so much. Bracelet Fund. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for joining. Hey, Detective Turtle Gum. My heart, this shows how kind they were. And no, and it does sound like they would have been good parents. It's really sad. I'm going to order the bracelets too. I hope they're still available Monday. I'm sure they will be. They've been out, they didn't just come out today. The girl said that she's had hers on since the memorial. So, and now here's Ethan's brother, Ethan, and their dad, I guess, because this post was just with his Reddit post. Let me go to the next one. Someone said, I truly pray your last memory of Ethan was seeing him smile. And they said it was. My last time with him was a huge hug to my wife's son and I, and we all said we love you, including my son who called him and still does Uncle Pig E. Oh, we could go in Reddit and search his name and find all of his comments he's made it, because I do think that his brother's semi-active in some of the groups. Now, I was going to show you this. This is a TikTok that has been, all over. I haven't watched it since the beginning, so it may be weird seeing it again. I saw it this morning when I was getting stuff together, but this is from Murphy's account now. So Murphy Gonsalves, it says, I loved photobombing my mom and her friends here. And then he's got other videos of Murphy and stuff on it, but I want to watch this again since it's been a while. This is that video of the roommates pretending to be each other. Now, I remember on my channel, we had talked about this and even talked about how this would be a way that somebody could know the inside of their home without ever being there if they were watching these videos. I wish they were only sending 1. I don't need 4 and no one to give them to in Tennessee. I was kind of shocked they were doing 4. Wasn't BK's sister in a horror movie? What if BK was jealous? She was in a horror movie. Yep. Okay, let's watch this.
God, it smells like dirty dick in here. Murphy, you've been a bad boy. Oh my God, it's 9:10. Guys, can anybody drop me class? I'm fucking late for my meeting.
Hey, she just walked out of Dylan's room. Okay, hold on. We're going to pause here because she just walked out of Dylan's room, which now having read the affidavit, let me look at it again.
Oh my God, it's 9:10. Guys, can anybody drop me class? I'm fucking late for my meeting. I'm supposed to be there 10 minutes ago. Did anybody do their chores today? Fuck, I'm just gonna do it. Oh, shit, you guys. It's 8. Gotta go. Jake's calling. Oh, Jake's calling. Oh my God, I look horrid. You get out of here. You seriously gotta get out of here. You're fucking stupid as shit. Hey guys, I know I talk about myself a lot, but what would you guys do in my situation? Xana, where are you going? Yeah, I gotta go pull you out. Failed trauma already. Xana, do a wine night? Let's just do my night.
Yo, is it okay if I have a party? Like just 3 or 4 people at most.
Oh my gosh, that is just, it's hard to see that after all of this. Yeah, it's the hallway to Xana's room, kitchen to living it. Oh my gosh. Oh, that makes sense. 4 bracelets for the 4th. Chrissy, that does make sense. I look forward to something my teenage daughter would say. Oh, Maddie, oh, I love that because she's just, they're all so cute, but let's see if I can play it through while it's muted. So wait a minute. When Kaylee does that, she's in the, I think, kitchen closet. You guys. Okay, let me find the next thing that we're going to see, that we're going to look at while that is sitting there. We have a lot of articles to look at, and we will come back to them. But I think right now I want to show you this. So this is a person who I guess lives in like close by or took a trip out there to do this, but she's filmed all around near the home and near his apartment and things like that.
They didn't fucking boot him.
They didn't boot him. It was also 4 in the morning, and I think he was in and out within, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Thank you, Jules.
There's no way he was out in 30 minutes. He stabbed them like 50 times.
That's so sweet. And
Alex, it takes you 45 minutes to shower. You think it takes this man?
Jules, that is such a sweet offer, and I appreciate that so much. But you don't have to do that. That is really sweet. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Michael. I think it's like, I know it's what it is, but hold on, let me put it in the chat. AE1189. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Angie. You guys are just way too nice. I really appreciate you guys. Hey, Melinda. Okay. Her name is Alex too.
Man, 45 minutes alone to kill.
So look, there's that house in the background where the camera was that heard, the whimpering, and that was within 50 yards, I think, or 50 feet from Xana's bedroom wall. There's the driveway.
I'm not sure. So I'm kind of getting out of the car. I'm really nervous.
No, they're not. Go ahead.
Okay. So here we are in front of the house, which there's a nice memorial, which we'll get. That's in front of the house. But yeah, it feels really eerie. There's obviously policemen.
It's quiet.
But this is where it occurred. I didn't see any of the blood from pictures that was on the outside of the house. We didn't notice that anywhere, so I'm assuming they probably cleaned that up from previous photos where you could see that. So yeah, this is the house. I guess it makes sense that if you zoom in, that's the 3rd floor up top. You can see, so that's where
The sound is so bad.
Maddie and Kaylee were, I believe, in the same bedroom, and the dog was in the other room. And then I guess the sliding glass door in the back goes into the 1st floor.
Okay, we're going to switch to our other video that you can actually hear. Sorry, you guys. Here we go.
Are outside of Bryan Kohberger's apartment, but there's like literally no police tape or anything. So it's either one of those or one of these. I don't think we can go to jail for this.
Hey, Melissa Jade.
So here we are, just doing the dirty work. Definitely not that.
Okay, so the recording that was out was debunked. That is not true, but it is in the affidavit that the camera nearby heard whimpering and a thud. It doesn't say anything about a fight or any of the stuff that was in that recording. It just says, I believe, whimpering and a loud thud. So that was straight from the police paperwork. Combat vet price. Let me see if it's still in my, yes. So here's the link for the bracelets in the chat. Oh, thank you, Angie. I'm glad. Okay. Hey, Without Borders.
It's just so weird that there's like no police tape here. Also, it smells weird.
I'm not surprised there's no police tape at all. Let's see. We've seen it so many times, and every time it's just so eerie, you guys.
Yeah.
So he must have parked right there.
To the back.
You know. Well, we know where he parks. I'm sorry, because of the affidavit. I'm a dummy. But, I mean, parked there to watch them. That's anybody could see right into the house. And remember, even the neighbor in one of the first interviews said, I used to see people in the windows all the time. These girls were not, like, very careful about that, which is scary. You know, the thought of them up on the hill, like a little house full of all these girls and freaks like this can just,
He parked up here.
It smells weird, I know.
Question, right? How did he do this with no one noticing? Because I almost just fell down this hill and died. Fuck you, Bryan, you coordinated bitch.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you.
Bryan, if...
If you and I are both still active.
Okay, now I'm going to keep going because I have a lot of TikToks I want to show you guys. Just different things. Let me see. That one's not the most important. Okay, this is Chanley from Court TV. It's her actual TikTok, though. I thought this was kind of interesting.
Retracing the steps of the alleged killer of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. In that probable cause affidavit, it says that around 3:26 a.m. the morning of November 13th, Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra was seen on this road traveling this direction on surveillance video minutes before the murders. But one thing that sticks out to me on this Indian Hills Drive is this right here. You have a direct view of the Moscow Police Department. Could this be the reason that he randomly drove to this neighborhood at 3:26 a.m. to get his eyes on what's happening at the police station minutes before he drives across Highway 95 to that off-campus home?
I thought that was so interesting. I mean, it's possible. We know he went back to the house and was watching to see kind of what was going on that morning, possibly even twice the next day. Oh, Jules, thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Just, yeah, email me, you can email me here. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Jules. That's really, really sweet. MK, honestly, all they posted on TikTok and Instagram gave anyone a roadmap inside their home, as well as how open the house was. I know. It's so scary. I don't know. I just, if you have young kids, make sure to remind them of this stuff. The monster live in Washington, 10 minutes away. Yeah. Let me replay this one more time.
Woman allegedly commits murder. Everyone, we are here retracing the steps of the alleged killer of 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. In that probable cause affidavit, it says that around 3:26 a.m. the morning of November 13th,
3:26.
White Hyundai Elantra was seen on this road traveling this direction on surveillance video minutes before the murders. But one thing that sticks out to me on this Indian Hills Drive is this right here. You have a direct view of the Moscow Police Department. Could this be the reason that he randomly drove to this neighborhood at 3:26 a.m. to get his eyes on what's happening at the police station minutes before he drives across Highway 9?
I don't know. It's possible it was before the murders took place, but it's still kind of interesting. Okay, let's see what else. I've got so many TikToks for us to look at, so we're just going to keep going.
I think is the only way. I can think of one scenario in my head where this guy won't get found guilty.
Well, there's a couple. One of them that people point out is if there's any sort of potential interference here, right? Like if there was any sort of coercion here, if there was any statements made that shouldn't have been made at some point. There's a lot of potentials. I mean, the roommate is, to me, off the affidavit.
We know that he talked to police for about 10 or 15 minutes before he asked for a lawyer. I'm so interested in what he said in those first few minutes.
David, if we're going off the affidavit, not on theories, not on speculation,
hey,
just
on the
off
case
the
with
affidavit,
Jeannie?
the roommate is the number one thing to me
doesn't.
off that affidavit that as a defense, I would attack that.
Yeah.
I would say, why didn't you call? Why were you? Is this reliable? Is any of your testimony reliable? Is any of your account reliable?
Yeah.
And I would even use that to put suspicion on her or potentially her boyfriend or whatever else. So I would actually I would actually push that around if I was a defense attorney. I think that's very, very, very suspect. A lot of the behavior there's not a lot of details. And also, a young girl on cross, I think she might fold if she's put under pressure.
What do you think is the only way? I could think of one scenario in my.
I don't like that. I know that she's going to be a very important witness. That's why I think we need to be very kind to her right now, just giving her like the space, the benefit of the doubt, and waiting for the investigation. Now, this next one I'm going to play you actually is from the show Cuomo, but I didn't know that this YouTuber went on his show to talk about the recordings that we've talked about a couple of times. So I'm going to play it now. It's like a 5-minute video, which is kind of long, but.
His initial arrest, have you arrested anyone else? Okay. Being transferred, it is now being reported that he made an offhand comment that, what happened to those 4 students, it's really terrible. There is a distancing of him in both of those comments from the situation. Now, why do I tee that up? Because within hours of Kohberger's arrest, a YouTube clip from a crime podcast emerged, immediately went viral. Okay, the users of the podcast were saying, "Hey, this is Bryan Kohberger." I didn't believe it until we interviewed someone who knew Bryan Kohberger in high school. She heard
Bye, MK.
that is definitely his voice. Now, she's a certified expert? No, but.
Bye, MK. Have a great day. So he even mentions, remember, I told you guys that a person from school said that this sounded like him, a person who knew him. And then we also have the Icked Mail clip. To me, I think that they both sound like they could be him up against that, what you're about to hear from this hairdresser.
Take another look. Take a listen for yourself. One thing that every single one of them,
Well, I don't know if it's this one or the next one we hear the hairdresser.
If you were going to kill somebody, how would you get away with it? Now, again, It's him talking about the murders as removed from them. The host of that podcast initially was unsure as well whether it was Bryan. Now believes it was likely. He goes by T-Rev, so we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now. Thank you very much for coming with your splendid YOLO hat on.
That cracked me up. Come on, Cuomo. That was so rude. Thank you for coming with your splendid YOLO hat on. You only live once. I'm sorry, but wow. Hold on. I got to rewind that. You guys. I would have been like, excuse me? Like, you think you are better than everybody. How rude.
It was likely him. He goes by T-Rev,
but funny.
So we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now. Thank you very much for coming with your splendid YOLO hat on. You only live once.
Oh, my God.
Good choice. So,
what?
Bryan Kohberger, you believe he called into the podcast. Why?
I mean, with friends reaching out and saying, or people like her that spoke out that said that it's, that's him 100%. I mean, without me hearing his voice, I'm like, it's unconfirmed. But if you got friends that knew him and grew up with him saying it's confirmed, then I gotta say, hey, yeah, this is probably Bryan Kohberger. But I did send it into the FBI. I did click that. I also went through 80,000 phone calls, found the number, sent it into the FBI as well, and they have that, and hopefully they get down to that information.
Good. Do you know that they are in receipt of it? Did they come back to you at all?
I know they have it. I never got an email back yet.
All right. Well, good. You did what you're supposed to do. Now, what struck you about the kinds of comments that this man made to you?
With your yellow hat on. Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Why would 10 people come up and ask you how to get away with murder? I mean, make that make sense to me. Why would 10 human beings like ourselves come up and say, hey, how would I get away with murder? And that's just...
Hey, Deco.
Nobody's going to do that. And realistically in life, who is
I've never watched him, Kay. I need to try.
That is around us right now and asking us, hey, do you know how to get away with murder?
Thank you,
And
Alex.
he was saying that people kept coming up to him and saying that. What else did he share about his take on what had happened?
It was kind of like his survey. If you go and look at the survey that was on Reddit that ended up surfacing after his arrest, like everything that call was about that survey.
I just thought it was interesting that he came in. I've never watched this particular YouTuber. I should check him out sometime. But yeah, now, oh my gosh, I am so excited about this. This is one of my favorite women ever. And when I found this morning and found out she commented on this case, and of course, I was so excited. If you watch Deadly Women, she's often on there. Oh my gosh, Candace, what's her name? Candace something, and she has those bright blue eyes. So anyways, there's a couple clips from her on Megyn Kelly, and I wanted us to watch it together. She's brilliant, and I love her. And there's something about her that just brings me back to my first true crime days, like before YouTube, when it was just Forensic Files and Nancy Grace and Deadly Women and Investigation Discovery. And my TV in my room stayed on Investigation Discovery 24 hours a day, which was annoying because they play like 12 hours worth of shows, and then they replay a lot of those. But I still kept it on. I've always loved this kind of stuff. But yeah, so she really brings me back, like, what do you call that?
And of course,
you know what I mean.
What interests me is the motivation of the killer,
no, not
as well as other things. One of the things I find interesting and possibly telling, a lot of female friends from high school, college, and even recently in his grad program talk about him, various things to say. No former girlfriend or former intimate person has come forward, possibly because, it could be, oh my gosh, was I
besides the Tinder date
wrong to be involved with this guy? But I wonder if he simply
what just happened there? What the heck just happened there? Huh? I have no idea how this came up. And it literally will not let me go back. So here we go. What the heck?
And of course, what interests me is the motivation of the killer as well as other things. One of the things I find interesting and possibly telling, a lot of female friends from high school, college, and even recently in his grad program talk about him, various things to say. No former girlfriend or former intimate person has come forward, possibly because, it could be,
Okay,
oh my
wait
God.
a minute now. This is doing something funky. I'm going to go to the next one. Sorry, you guys.
Hasn't had an intimate relationship, a romantic relationship. And the reason I think that is, without question, this was a targeted murder, and one of the victims, the two blondes, was brutalized, stabbed many more times than the other one. I think she was probably the target. One of the things that I think of.
Okay, wait a minute. Sorry, you guys. I didn't want that to play to whatever it was going to next. Okay. So basically, here.
But do you believe if he did this, that this was the first time he killed somebody? Yes. 4 people, like, it just seems, forgive the word, but more sophisticated than a first-time kill.
I completely agree. She said yes quickly. Yes, she thinks it was his first time. I also do think that, but I think that why would you choose to kill 4 people your first time? I mean, possibly he didn't know that some of them were there, but at least he had to expect a couple people were going to be there. And he's been by this house so many times. He knows how many people live there.
Killer would go for more advanced, more, I don't know what the word is, aggressive.
Roughly.
But what do you think?
I do. I would I do think it was probably the first time. He made a lot of mistakes. People get in their car after a murder, pardon me, and they are covered with blood. And the blood transfers to the seats, leather, fabric seats, and they try to clean it up, but it doesn't work. You can't clean up blood well enough that it can't be detected if there is a sophisticated forensic team looking for it.
Mm.
Now, you're right. It's unusual for killers to start out with a mass. This was a massacre. It was a mass murder. I don't know if that was his intention, but I believe that he knew exactly who was in that house when
he did.
And usually what we see.
Oh, there's another clip too, but okay, we're just going to keep going forward because there's other things I want to show you. Now, this is not the first time I've heard of this Spotify, but let me show you, and we're going to pause it and look at some of this. Here.
Those songs were added. Why is no one talking about Bryan Kohberger's Spotify? Look at who he followed, his song choices, when those songs were added.
Okay, now I've heard of this a couple times.
Why is no one talking about Bryan
I'm actually
Kohberger's
personally offended that he follows Jack Harlow.
Spotify?
But I mean, if we go back, okay, so as soon as he was arrested, we did a search on Instagram. I could pull that up. No Bryan Kohberger accounts followed the girls at that time. There were 3 accounts made. They had 0 followers and followed 0. But we did not search the name Krim.Kohberger, which has now come out as possibly being his. And we never looked at places like, Spotify and stuff like that. So I think it's really interesting, but let me do this and then
Look at who he followed.
title, Symphony of Destruction, September 17th, 2022. Moth in a Flame, Murder 1, Night Stalkers. Oh my God. One of the songs is called Night Stalkers. The Sick, the Dying, Will Be Back. The car should have the most forensic evidence. Agreed, MJ. I'm very curious, though, if he wore something and he took it off before he got in his car. I mean, surely to God, he wouldn't be that stupid. But, I mean, look at all the other dumb mistakes he's made. So, I don't know. Yes, Candace DeLong. Thank you. Watched the house closely and long enough to know exactly who lived there. Absolutely, he did. So anyways, I mean, I don't know how we could verify this stuff. It would be really interesting to try. Like, does anybody good with Spotify?
His song choices. When
Because I'd really love to verify that.
those songs were added.
It says that he follows Kaylee and Maddie. I think so. He had covering on his person and his vehicle. Maybe that's what the mattress covers were for. Maybe he used that to cover his car seat, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I do think it's really it could be very likely that he put oh my God, y'all are gonna love this. It could be very likely that he put the knife in between the mattresses like we talked about yesterday. Okay, now this I gotta show you. This is so sweet. Remember the roommates got those tattoos right after. They got the matching tattoos. Well, then we did hear that Maddie's family got the tattoos. But I hadn't seen this video of them in there. Her 97-year-old great-grandmother got a tattoo for her. Look at this. This is so freaking sweet. Okay. There's probably a sister. They look so much alike. I just thought this was so sweet. There's her mom. We know that's her mom. Look. There's her grandma. Oh my God. You guys. How freaking sweet is that? Like, oh. Rock on, Grandma. I know. I'll text you what I had. Okay, Woofy. By the way, Woofy, sorry that I missed your call last night. I meant to call you back, but I didn't. So call me after the live if you're not busy. I have Spotify, but I have no idea how to find people on there. I typed in his name and didn't find anything really. Okay. Spotify is like where you download music and stuff. It seems like he thought they would never get close enough to look into him. Sadly, I think his arrogance and stupidity knows no bounds. Well, that's exactly goes with exactly what Ava was saying. He's so arrogant. He probably didn't think they would look into him. And just some of them, just dumb. I know. I love that too. I had to show you guys that when I found it. Freaking grandma, oh my gosh, that is just so sweet. Here, let me rewind. I'm just going to play it in full really fast. Oh, I wonder how many of them went. Look. Oh, that is so sweet. Same place that the roommates got them as well, right? That's where the roommates got the tattoos, and the tattoos also had the angel wings. But the roommates had all the initials, like Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, Ethan. Oh my God. How freaking sweet is that? Oh. Maddie did look just like her mama. She really did. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. With grandma right there in the middle. How many? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 people. Wow. Look at grandma right in the middle. Oh my God. She's such a, that's just so sweet. I know. I'm sure Maddie enjoyed that. It says, until we meet again. Oh my God, how sad. Okay. Let me see what I have next to show you guys. Oh, I thought this was kind of interesting. Oops. Then I'm going to show you guys like a blog that I found that has like a very interesting account of what happened. And it's a profession. It's like it's being shared all in the Facebook groups and stuff. And I don't know, we'll look at it, but just know that stuff like that, we don't know if it's true. Just like even the Spotify, sure, they show us an account that has Bryan Kohberger's name, but we don't know who actually created that account, when it was created. I mean, the songs were added on it before the murders took place. So that leads me to believe the account is possibly real, but I mean, you never know.
Bryan Kohberger hasn't even entered a plea yet, let alone been convicted of anything. And just because he's in custody before and no doubt during his trial doesn't mean he loses the presumption of innocence. That is very important. But with all that as the backdrop,
hey, Chris.
Is he uncomfortable? Is
hey,
he
Delina.
safe? Does he get to spend time outside of his cell, stretch his legs now and again? What's he eating? Does he get to watch TV? Does he contact his family? My next guest knows all of this because Corey Clem spent 2 months in the same Latah County lockup where Bryan Kohberger is being held tonight, maybe even in the same cell. Listen, Corey, it's great of you to call in and talk to us about this. Just give me a bit of an overview of what it's like inside that lockup.
So for the most part, what I would describe as inside maximum security, it's very claustrophobic. If you're used to living a life free and out.
It's very claustrophobic. Well, good.
Outside, on the streets.
Good.
No reasonable person would be comfortable in there at all.
Uh-oh. Don't want it to skip ahead. Okay. My Jin Liu inspired thumbnail. Yeah, if you guys missed the live last night on the Ward case files, go watch it. Teresa was on Jen's channel. It was very good. Okay, so there are a few more things that we have to look at. I wanted to show you guys this though, but like I said, just remember that, you know, unless you see it on the police website, we just don't know it to be true. But this is an article that's being shared everywhere from, it says House and Habit, Moscow in Mourning, from someone, Jessica Reed Krause. Okay, November 13th. It is sometime before noon on a Sunday, 34 degrees. A blanket of fog is draped over the crowded stretch of Greek Row, creating an eerie, isolating grip over town. Visibility is low. A dense haze blots out the defining angles of a neighborhood gradually coming to life after a festive night on the town, celebrating sorority events and an end-of-season football game that draws locals from all over town. Winter break is less than 2 weeks away. The excitement of the holiday pulsates through the veins of a bustling campus community dotted by brick-lined apartments and wood-planked rental houses strung with twinkling Christmas lights visible in the blurred orbs along the rooftops. Students are peeling themselves away from the surrender of warm beds, nursing mild hangovers and lost in aimless scrolls, checking their friends' recaps of the previous night before heading down for coffee. Elderly couples are up earlier, chatting, jogging, and walking dogs with productive intentions planned for the remainder of their day when the sound of bone-chilling screams sends a shockwave across the road, shattering the morning with a sense of fresh, terrorized urgency. The screams are coming from the front lawn of 1122 King Road, where two young women have spilled out of the front door in hysterics. The commotion catches the attention of the neighbors, who rush over to help. Chaos and confusion circle the residence. One of the girls dials 911 but passes out before they can process what she's saying. The other is inconsolable, muttering something about Ethan hurt. A neighbor takes over the call, describing an unconscious person to a confused dispatcher on the line. Someone suggests calling Hunter, who lives, quote, about a football field away, unquote. Okay, let me check you guys in the comments, and we're going to keep going. Hey, Search and Rescue. Hey, Mary Yanton. Just checking the comments to make sure I'm not missing anything. Hey, you don't know me. I know, Jen. That would be so fun. And vice versa. I always love having you on. I know, LFT, me either. And we know this is true. Steve has said that Dylan, one of them, I don't know if he said who, one of them fainted, and that is why the phone call was from their phone, but it was someone else. Okay, so Hunter arrives within minutes. He rushes straight into the house, where he finds his brother Ethan crumpled on the second floor in a scene so gruesome none of us can dare imagine ourselves on the receiving end of the dreadful phone call that came next, delivering the horrific details of a child's passing, unfolded by another son on an otherwise mundane Sunday afternoon. Hunter, not Hunter the friend, Hunter the brother of Ethan. The scene above is based on details people close by to this tragedy shared, explaining how the house was tainted by more than a handful of students before the police arrived, confronted with a quadruple homicide. The stench of blood strong enough to sting the senses upon entering. In the hours following, sirens could be heard in scattered forces around town. Communication from law enforcement locked up immediately. Detailed updates were replaced by frantic gossip and speculation. First it was 1 death, then 2, then 4. A shelter-in-place warning sent out but quickly lifted without concise follow-up. Initially, a fentanyl overdose was the assumed killer, but the theory was quickly eclipsed in text threads between the students based on what they heard from those who had walked through the house earlier that day. Now, think about this. Before police came, if this is to be true, which we know that there were people there before police with the roommates, this could be one, why they called friends over, because they didn't necessarily call friends over. It happened, But number two, think about how the scene would be tainted. I mean, you've got, I don't know. I just worry about that a little bit. Okay. So let's keep going. Sorry, you guys. Vandal alert. Investigation continues. Suspect unknown. Moscow PD does not believe there is an active threat. Shelter in place lifted. Remain vigilant. Vandal alert. Check your email. Check your university email for updates on campus operations. Moscow police continues to investigate the death of 4 people near campus. They indicate there is no ongoing threat. More information available soon via email. Okay. After the house was marked a crime scene, the community grew increasingly frustrated over the lack of communication coming from the Moscow Police Department. At first, law enforcement claimed that it was a targeted attack, but could not offer any assurance that the town was safe from potential risk. They headed into the holiday in a perpetual state of uncertainty. Many fled. When students were given the option to go home a week early, the streets of Moscow turned into a ghost town, while media descended on this remote corner of Idaho, eager to snag a live shot in front of the King Road residents. Nancy Grace set up shop in front of the house, addressed in an open letter response written by a local resident, claiming her coverage was using the town as a gimmick. Quote, "We have nothing against the media." This is the open letter, I suppose. We have nothing against the media or the coverage. In fact, in a time where the media has taken a beating more than any other time in recent history, law enforcement officials cannot thank the media enough for their coverage once a suspect was in custody. Since the crime, media on both local and national scales have been covering the case, and as soon as the police found themselves asking for public help, the news, such as the search for a white Elantra, was everywhere. Nancy, pacing around the same house that has been the center of national attention for months, will bring nothing to the surface that hasn't already been discovered or shared. It isn't helping families heal. Your dramatized dubbing of, quote, murder house, unquote, is not helping the community. And frankly, you're doing nothing to speed up the just due process owed to all parties involved in the criminal trial, unquote. Want to help Nancy? Pack up, leave, and report on the case in a helpful way when needed. Share stories of love from friends and loved ones that cherish the legacy of the 4 innocent lives, and stop trying to paint a picture of crime that have no insight or exclusive information about, that you have no insight or exclusive information about. We stand Vandal strong and hope you will too. Then some photos of the house and, some of the stuff that was left out front, the candles, little teddy bear. Wow, these are some pretty good photos. Can't see your comments right now, but I will come back to them after we're, while I'm scrolling through this. Can't see them. I read about the off-campus murders when news broke. I skimmed over the headlines and the 4 young faces, making a conscious effort not to dwell on them, even as the story became a viral sensation. When Arlo brought it up a couple weeks later, he insisted that I cover it. He and his friends were following the updates with obsessive intrigue. The fact that the victims were only a couple of years older than them made it personal, I suppose, in that they could imagine themselves as a part of each of these scenarios attached to the time frame. I listened half-heartedly as he recounted the food truck footage, the sorority links, and no suspect in custody. I loved that he respected my insight. What I didn't tell him was that I was purposely avoiding it. As I've said before, true crime is not my forte. I prefer culture critiques and salacious side notes with angles that allow on the injection of gossip and dark humor. Murder is a different beast. It leaves no room for any of that. The details uncovered are heavy, dark, and hard to shake off. After Gabby Petito, I swore I would never track an active investigation again. That kind of coverage takes its toll. During those few weeks, I struggled to sleep. I was frantically updating and posting new theories and conspiracies as they sprang, but fretting over every detail shared. When I did sleep, I had nightmares and weird paranoia. You guys, if you are very into true crime, whether it's watching or covering it, I know that you know how that feels. Like, I know how that feels, where it is the only thing you are thinking about the moment you open your eyes, when you wake up in the middle of the night, oh my gosh. Said I was convinced I was being followed on dark drives home from the grocery store, or that something awful would happen to my family when we were apart. Then intimate insight into the investigation for the hunt of Bryan Laundrie came. We're going to keep going, though, just a little bit, because there is more, but I don't really want to. Okay, a different angle. Jess brought her newest crush, Lauren, to California in December for our annual holiday party. One night on our way back from dinner, Lauren told me about a friend of hers, a writing professor at the University of Idaho, who lived in Moscow, struggling with the aftermath of these murders. Their partner, already turned off by the oddity of this bizarre town, relocated after the murders to an island 6 hours away with their child on a family-owned lot of land, forcing the family into a long-distance relationship. The friend told Lauren that the killings rattled the town in weird ways. This person wanted to remain teaching at the university, but their partner outright refused to give Moscow another shot. The conflict piqued my interest, imagining on a grander scale the notion of a collectively grieving town behind the scenes of these gruesome headlines, redefined by horror. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So after the new year, with the suspect in custody, an affidavit revealed, and a timeline tied up, I figured the worst of the wild theorizing was behind us. I wanted nothing to do with the adrenaline-fueled reporting that precedes the capture of a killer, but I was interested in the emotional aftermath, a town stained by 4 senseless killings. I decided to visit Moscow before the influx of media kicks into overdrive, with the trial expected to start sometime this summer. The following notes are based on a mashup of my 3 days there, examining the ins and outs of this strange, lovely, complicated little town, still reeling from the grim fate of a local tragedy that has captured the world's attention. Let me check on you guys for a minute. Hey, Squeaky Wheel. I thought Enton was a bit over the line knocking on the parents' door. He's done an amazing job, still love him, but I thought it was a little too much. Well, you know, I go back and forth with that, but I definitely see where you're coming from. Hey, Merp. If that is happening to you, you're way too involved. Donnie does dishes. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting for Donnie to, I've been trying, but you know what? I'm done. Bye, Donnie. See you later. Hey, Donna. Good to see you. It does take a toll, especially Watt's case and others for me. Yes. I remember at one point, like, I felt like I was so close to the children in that case, like that they were almost in, like, near me and stuff. I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. Later, Donnie. Okay. It is a really cute little town, though. Oh, look at that one. Is that at the Mad Greek? I wonder where the, I was muted. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. It's not important anyways. There's a card that pulled up though, so just a moment. I apologize. Okay.
Or just water and soda.
Okay. Before this tragedy, people are quick to tell me that no one locked their doors. After, sales of security systems spiked 400%. Everyone is still learning to operate under new security concerns they considered until now. Remnants of the 4 victims appear in heartbreaking traces around town. Window flyers are still posted in store windows asking for help identifying the car. Candlelight tributes remain on the windowsills, and makeshift altars appear at registers. Occasionally, you hear one of their names mentioned by staff talking to one another behind the bar. And at the Mad Greek on Main Street, where Maddie and Santa both worked, there is still a pile of flowers beneath handwritten notes on the patio and candles with each of their names at the counter. Reminders of a routine they shared. A theory. Everyone online has a theory. So does everyone in town. The people I talked to during this trip came to me willing to discuss their thoughts and theories about everything in this matter, except for the sweet young guy at Walgreens who escorted us to each aisle for every item we needed and then helped us to find a car when we were stranded after Uber. Blah, blah, blah. The theory I'm sharing here came relayed by a resident with ties to one of the families who told me the gag order was put into effect to stop leaks on social media that appeared to be coming from the inside. Hints of it apparently even evident in things posted here previously. Now, remember, I asked you guys, do you think that this new gag order is almost like verification of the reports that just came out? Because think about it. We get the reports that he was messaging the girls on Instagram. Then we get the reports that he had been at the Mad Greek. And then the judge issues a stricter gag order. I'm really curious what you guys think. But to me, I mean, I don't know. I can't help but wonder.
You gotta get the dog. He hasn't eaten.
Okay. I'll get him. Thank you, Papa. Let's see. It starts with two girls reunited for a fun-filled weekend together before break. Kaylee had recently moved out and had her sights. Wait, before I go, remember, this is a theory. It came relayed by someone with ties to one of the families who said the gag order was put into effect to stop the leaks. This is not, the truth. We don't know for certain, but just want to make that super clear. Okay. Starts with two girls reunited for a fun-filled weekend together before break. Kaylee had recently moved out and had her sights set on a new exciting job in Texas. She returned that weekend to show off her new Range Rover to Maddie. They had been texting back and forth about the car. Kaylee wanted to surprise her in person with the one she had finally decided on, a car she would own less than 72 hours. Read it backward, I was told, about the affidavit. It makes better sense that way. The second tip, imagine what is quoted with frantic inflection. So when you read, someone's in here, you sense sheer panic that would match spotting an intruder in your room at 4 a.m. The source believes BK likely entered the house from the third story. Now, this is so interesting because I've heard this many times, all over, and I just find it unlikely, but it is interesting. Mary, you didn't do anything. I haven't been in the comments. I don't think you did. Yeah, no. Nay says no. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't see the comments while we're reading. But I will pause and take breaks just to check on you guys. Leaks are still going to get out, though. That's BK's lawyer strategy, I bet, to mount a defense. I think it was directed at Sean Gray and the lawyer in PA. Yeah, that lawyer, But you know what? I don't think that lawyer is technically, I don't think they can do a gag order on him, can they? Because he's not part of this court case. So I don't know. So the source believes BK likely entered the house from the third story using the ladder on site to access that top slider, not wanting to risk a staircase encounter on his way up from the second floor. If he entered and passed through Kaylee's room and into Maddie's, where the two had fallen asleep watching a movie, he might not have expected both girls to be in the same bed. Because the sheath was found on, I disagree with that, but let's continue. Because the sheath was found on a table next to Maddie, it could suggest that she was the intended target, or at least the first of his attacks, which woke up Kaylee, who, quote, fought like hell, unquote, likely startling Ethan and Xana one floor below them. Hence the dog barking and the commotion mentioned by Dylan in the affidavit. BK might not have anticipated all four when he entered the house. If Ethan went upstairs to check on the commotion in Kaylee's room and caught sight of Bryan, realizing the danger they were in, he would have rushed back down the stairs to warn or help Xana, which could be the male voice saying something along the lines of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you," except no one is saying anything. They are screaming, fighting for their lives in the short span of those few horrifying last minutes. I don't believe that at all. I completely disagree with that entire theory, but we're going to continue just because it is interesting. The affidavit says she heard Xana crying, but when? After or before the attack? He definitely didn't see Dylan. Why would she be crying before? She was on TikTok, eating and stuff. But okay, he definitely didn't see Dylan, the source told me. Because of the angle of her doorway in that hall, he would not have seen her when she peeked out. I'm told the family is baffled as the rest of us about the delayed 911 call, but have been advised to not publicly discuss it. That's really interesting there. I agree, Mel Mel. It's still kind of interesting to hear from someone who supposedly has ties with the family. It does make sense that because the family has said on the news that they don't understand the 911 call either. They have questions, but they're not, they're trying to stand by Dylan for now. Okay. They've been advised not to publicly discuss it. Kaylee's father mentioned in multiple interviews that his daughter's wounds were not the same as Maddie's, suggesting defense wounds, whereas Maddie did not. I don't think that's what it suggested, but another source told me they heard that 2 victims died from bleeding out as opposed to direct stabbing injuries, indicating a slow, painful death which conflicts with initial reports. As for the timeline, it appears something significant transpired that first week back to campus that triggered Kohberger's obsession. The semester started on August 16th, and by August 21st, his phone pinged frequently in cell towers in and around the King Road vicinity. Some say he followed all 4 of the roommates on Instagram. No, liking all of their photos except the group shot posted on the 12th. And what exactly inspired his obsession? No one has been able to pin that down just yet. With the gag order in full effect, it may be a piece of the puzzle we don't learn into the trial. I have to know more about that Krim Kohberger Instagram because I know the Bryan Kohberger accounts did not follow them. The walk to court after a dreadful flight plagued by long delays, a lost phone, with only 3 hours of sleep is a cold and eerie. Media is lined up, so they went to court. Interesting. And testing lighting when we arrive. I spot Bryan Enton, News Daddy, amongst the other less familiar TV faces around him. Inside, Vintage Spots memorabilia is framed at the entrance. The line, a collected mix of media, local journalists, millennial true crime buffs, and thick-rimmed glasses and overstuffed backpacks, and us, stretches the entire length of the hall. The Latah County Courthouse proves a sharp contrast to the federal courts I'm accustomed to, in the sense that we are greeted with smiles and warm manners. The deputies seem like characters in old-time TV shows, almost giddy over the turnout as they check our bags, pausing to examine the old Polaroid pulled from mine before politely pushing us through into a wood-lined courtroom. We sat in silence for 20 minutes or so, awaiting the arrival of Bryan for the status hearing to decide the next steps in the legal process. When he enters, he is taller than expected. He has broad shoulders and a pale complexion against the bright orange prison scrubs he's dressed in. His features are sharply pointed. The shaving cuts on his face, discussed by media outlets afterward, are not visible from where I am seated. When my eyes scan the length of his frame, I see a tightly toned muscle on his right forearm, noticeably pronounced. His voice is flat and deep, emotionless, and his presence radiates a flat charge. Nothing about him feels readable. I sat wondering if this is how evil in the flesh translates. That's a loud plane, you guys. When a preliminary trial gets set for the end of June, his lawyers look pleased. Everyone else sits glaring as he exits the room, wondering how and why. Pizza chemist, is there any evidence that he knew any of them before he moved there for school in August of 2022? Not that I am aware of. Not yet. I think that since they have his computer and that kind of stuff, we shall see what they get from that. But not that I'm aware of. So let me ask y'all this. Do you think he moved out to Washington just to commit a crime like this? Or do you think he just sent the girls, got obsessed, and then decided to commit the crime? He just saw the girls. I don't know. I think that's a really good question. Hey, Jenna. Welcome. Thank you so much, Jenna Lee. Happy birthday, Lex Luthor. Good morning, Tree Baby Tennessee. I don't know. Do you guys think that he moved out there and knew he was going to do this? Or do you think that it's something that happened quickly? Is it something that he planned for a long time? Okay, let's keep going. Photos of the courthouse inside. Other Moscow murders. Moscow has its share of seedy secrets. The proof is in the archives, and then they share some stuff. And online, and we all talked about that in the beginning, about the young lady who committed, well, we don't know if she did it on purpose, but who overdosed on the sleeping medication, about the young man who was found in the creek. There was a dog that was skinned. What if, by the way, you guys, I heard someone question this, or I saw it in a Facebook group, but I thought it was a good question. What if the dog hair that they found in his apartment came back to that dog? Would that not be insane? He had homicidal impulses already, and then being away from doting mommy took away any inhibition he'd had to go through with it. We all basically said the same thing. Has to be the restaurant connection with Xana and Maddie. That's the first thing you check when you have a special diet like that. You check restaurants that carry your food. That makes sense, Vivian, because it happened when he first got there. I mean, like it said, by the first week, August 21st, he was over in that area. So when he first arrived, of course, one of the first things he would do was find out places that would carry food, accommodating food that accommodates his diet. I think he moved there for school, but met Maddie at Mad Greek and went from there, but had for a long time wanting to murder someone. My theory's all over the place with this case. Didn't he attend UI previously? Shakes her fist. He actually went to a university out in Pennsylvania called DeSales, and then he went to Washington State. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Very sweet. Okay. Let's keep going to the end of this article. I didn't read through it. I just read through the beginning and some of the screenshots that people were posting around in the group and thought it'd be something interesting for us to look at. It would be really crazy, though, if it was that little dog's hair. There's the corner club. The Corner Club, where Kaylee and Madison spent the last hours of their lives, is situated on a lone dark corner alone. Inside, the decor is made up of sports memorabilia and photos of community celebrating life milestones, weddings, babies, tailgating, sports wins, graduations, reunions. The hometown vibe is really strong. Ooh, the highlight of the trip was meeting Tiffany, wife to Shannon Gray, the attorney for the Gonsalves family. The Grays moved from Portland to Idaho, chasing normalcy in a post-COVID era. Portland had become a war zone of sorts during the pandemic. The Grays were seeking something slower, with humble roots and open spaces for their 5 kids to spread out after being cooped up for 2 years under strict lockdown and crumbling surroundings. So, Shannon Gray, the Gonsalves attorney, who is no longer allowed to speak about the case, met with the person who wrote this article, him, his wife, and their 5 kids. The wife said, "I never thought I would leave Portland. The decision to relocate was drastic but necessary. Moscow was not their first choice, but they put in an offer in an old farmhouse during a turbulent point in the market, not expecting anything to come of it, and were shocked to see it accepted overnight. The irony being, the move, motivated by the desire to settle somewhere low-key, was tossed on its head when Shannon's involvement in this case propelled their family into a chaotic spotlight. While Tiffany is quick to acknowledge the new inconvenience of incessant internet sleuths, she is proud of her husband's role in this. One of the first things Shannon did under hire is help shift how breaking news is handled by the police to ensure that family members are notified about any major breaks before the media. Because of this concentrated effort, special care was taken so all families of the victims were notified about BK's impending arrest 24 hours before any news outlets were given a name. Two things divide Moscow: COVID and Doug Wilson. So we're not going to go through all of that. They talk about a pastor in Moscow. I'm not really interested in any of that either. Okay, well, that's the end of it. So anyways, that was kind of interesting. Let me see. I know that we've kind of went through everything that I had here, I believe. But the thing we're going to end with is this that I mentioned in the beginning. This video, it's a visual timeline from ABC about everything that's happened. At 3 minutes, 27 seconds, they reference the DoorDash order. They reference this DoorDash order as being contactless and set on the ground outside. So I want us to kind of watch some of this. We're going to try to wait for that. And then, yeah, that will be it for today. The notification process is horrible. I also had to fight for the notifications. It shouldn't be that way. No way. It's ridiculous. And even like recently when a YouTuber posted that a little boy was likely no longer living, and that's what the police were thinking, before his own family was notified. Karma Carolina, what I believe when we hear about him not wanting the meat to touch the pans and that kind of stuff, I do believe that Bryan was doing that to inconvenience, to be like, you know, the center of attention. It's all about me, like trying to just, I don't think it was because he really was that concerned with it. I think he was just being an asshole. I really do. Ashton May, I'm not sure. And Ghost 85, you know what? I really might do another live tonight, but it most likely will not be here unless there's some kind of big news with another case. I want to go through some really funny and interesting comments that are not so nice on my second channel. So if I do that, I will post about it over here so you guys will know. Yeah, why was the front door open at 8:45? I don't know. It's a great question. If it's true, you know. I don't know. Okay, let's go.
On November 13th, 2022, these 4 university students were discovered stabbed in their home in Moscow, Idaho. Local police described the case as very complex, and it took more than 6 weeks for a suspect to be arrested. We pieced together information from a case affidavit released by authorities, verified publicly available evidence, and pulled in ABC News reporting to create a visual timeline outlining significant events in this case. I'm Emmanuel Saliba, a senior reporter with ABC News.
LFT linked it just now. I was about to get it, but thank you,
It's
LFT.
around 9 p.m. local time on Saturday, November 12th in Moscow, Idaho. According to an affidavit released by authorities, Xana Kernodle and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin are seen hanging out at the Sigma Chi house. It's about a 5-minute walk.
You guys, and the second channel is not true crime. It's just like for anything but true crime. Sometimes I have things I want to say, or I just want to do, I mean, we've done crafts over there. We've talked, just whatever. And that is, I just don't do it here because I don't know, like, don't want to be disrespectful to the cases that I cover. So I wanted to create a place where I could chat with you guys about whatever.
Off-campus house on King Road. Xana's roommates Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan are at the Corner Club. It's a historic sports bar in town. They stay at the bar for about 3 hours, according to an affidavit released by authorities. And around 1:30 a.m., Kaylee and Maddie leave the corner bar. The next available images we have of them are in this surveillance footage obtained by ABC News. They're heading towards a local food truck, which is about a 6-minute walk from the bar. Police say this man with them is not a suspect.
Now, I think that it has come out from the Gonsalves family that what she said to Adam was that Kaylee wanted to get back with Jack. That is the rumor. Now, also, you guys, I watched the grub truck footage again, like over last night and into this morning sometime. And watching it now, knowing if you go back and watch it, you're going to look at Jack so differently. Hoodie guy, he I don't know, like I could see the concern and the care. Like think about when he's like when they walk off without him, and just I don't know, just watch that footage back and it's totally different knowing what we know now. Okay, so it's at 3:27. We're only 1 minute 24 in.
This is the grub truck. They have been streaming live on Twitch since about 10 p.m. And around 1:41 a.m., we see all three of them walk into frame. Maddie and Kaylee order food.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I think I would like the carbonara.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need? That's the second one? Awesome.
Dawn's mom.
And then you said
$10.
Perfect. Cool. Thank you.
47. Thank you very much.
They wait around for about 10 minutes. Around 1,
they cut out the clip that Kelly has on CDT of them talking about sharing their food, which is sweet, but
51 a.m., they grab food from the truck window and walk out of frame. Police confirm that at this point they get picked up by a car service, and about 6 minutes later, they arrive at home on King Road. According to an affidavit, Ethan and Xana are already in the house, along with 2 other roommates. 2:47 a.m., according to police, a phone belonging to the suspect, Bryan Kohberger, stops connecting to the cell network in nearby Pullman, Washington. This is where he lives and studies criminology.
now I want you guys to remember these girls had a buzz. I mean, even the people like Joe Vado that came out, he said gross because they were drunk and they were kind of stumbling a little bit. I mean, then they were attacked like that. Can you imagine how disoriented they were? That is so sad.
As a PhD student at Washington State University. 2:53 a.m. Authorities say a white sedan consistent with a vehicle registered to Kohberger is seen traveling towards the highway that connects Pullman and Moscow. It's only about a 10-mile drive between the two cities. At 3:29 a.m., surveillance footage obtained by police from the King Road neighborhood captures a white sedan making an initial drive by the victim's house. Authorities say this car will make another 2 passes in the next 30 minutes. It's 4 a.m. According to the affidavit,
Okay, so right here.
Xana receives a DoorDash delivery. And a source tells ABC News that the delivery is contactless and the order is left at the front door.
So a source tells ABC News the delivery is contactless and left at the front door. That's really interesting. That makes a difference in my opinion. If it's true, a source could be lying. I mean, but totally messed up. I know. Hey, profiling manipulation. Good to see you. That's why I wanted to pull up this video, because of just that particular part. If it is true, right? I think he said that because he can't get a girl as beautiful as Maddie. Just my opinion. He did, Heather. We can keep listening for a minute though, but me neither, Amber. but that was like the main reason why I was playing this. I do like the visuals though. I think they did a really good job with that, kind of showing us on the maps and stuff. It is tough to envision. Oh, thank you. By the time this thing goes to court, they are going to have all they need to give this guy the death penalty, which is exactly the only thing he now deserves. Time is ticking for him. Let's watch for another minute. After this, I'm going to let you guys go. This is kind of the end of what I've gathered. I mean, there are many other things. I had the Moscow Police Department website pulled up. I had some other articles, but nothing new. It was just little things I found interesting, but we've been on here quite a while. So
a surviving roommate
let's go
would
back
later
just a
tell
moment
authorities
though.
that around 30 minutes. It's 4 a.m. According to the affidavit, Xana receives a DoorDash delivery. And a source tells ABC News that the delivery is contactless and the order is left at the front door. A surviving roommate would later tell authorities that around this time, 4 a.m., she wakes up to what sounds like Kaylee playing with her dog in the room on the 3rd floor. She also reports hearing someone say, "There's someone here." 4:04 a.m., authorities say the white sedan is seen driving into the neighborhood 4th time. 4:12 a.m., according to phone records obtained by police, Xana is awake and using TikTok. The affidavit states that the same surviving roommate says she hears what sounds like crying coming from Xana's room. She opens her door a second time and says she hears a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At 4:07,
That's a good question, Ava, but I would imagine that that they believe Xana got it, but I don't know. We really won't know till court because they don't put everything in that arrest affidavit, the probable cause affidavit, whatever you want to call it. They don't. They just put, the basics, what they have to prove that they have a good reason to hold this person, and then we're going to have this hearing in June, and then they're going to give us a little bit more. It's going to be, they have to show why he's more likely than not to have committed this crime. And then at the trial, they have to show that beyond a reasonable doubt. So like their scale gets a little tighter and tighter as you go. With the arrest affidavit, you just have to show enough to the probable cause to arrest, right? And then you just have to show enough at this hearing that he more likely than not did it. And then beyond a shadow of a doubt or whatever, beyond a reasonable doubt.
17 a.m., this security camera on a neighbor's home picks up distorted audio of what sounds like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times. This camera is less than 50 feet from Xana's bedroom. The affidavit states their surviving roommate then opens her door a 3rd time. She sees a masked man walking past her towards the sliding glass.
What does that mean, clad in black clothing? I think it was earlier when Kelly said it, or like I was just thinking, what does that mean exactly?
Door in the kitchen. In frozen shock, she locks her door. 4:20 a.m., police say the white sedan is seen leaving the neighborhood at a high rate speed. 5:25 a.m., authorities say that same vehicle is seen on 5 cameras back in the Pullman area, near where the suspect lives. And then, between 9:12 and 9:21 a.m., police say data collected shows the suspect's phone appearing near the scene of the murders. About 8
yet again, just to see, I believe, to see, hey, I haven't heard anything on the news yet. We haven't, what the heck's going on?
hours after the killings, a 911 call reports an unconscious person at the scene of the crime. Shortly after, Moscow police discover the bodies of 4 students.
The facts of the case that we know right now.
November 16th, police reveal the 4 victims were stabbed to death.
The 4 were stabbed with a knife, but no weapon has been located at this time.
We are eternally grateful that we spent so much time with him.
This is Ethan's mom on November 30th at a vigil honoring her son and the 3 other victims.
That's the most important message that we have for you and your families, is to make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people because
this is sad, you guys. I don't know. It does seem like we just haven't heard from Ethan in Xana's family as much, or Maddie's, but I guess, the Gonsalves has kind of made it a point to say that they speak for them as well.
Time is precious, and
We talked about that the other day. It's sad.
We're looking for a 2011 to a 2013 Hyundai Elantra.
Now, I want to know why they didn't correct the year, because in the affidavit, it says that Moscow police initially thought it was a 2011 to 2013, but then someone with the FBI, looked, and they thought that it would be a 2011 to 2015. That made a big deal in this case, and I wish they would have corrected that, you guys.
December 7th, no suspects have been publicly identified, and Moscow police appeal to the public for help.
Any assistance you can give us, anybody that owns one, anybody that knows of someone who owns one or may have been driving one, if you could get a hold of us through our tip line or call us directly, we'd appreciate that.
December 15th, Kohberger and his father are driving
sure, Wolfie,
eastbound
about that?
I-70 when they get pulled over by a Hancock County Sheriff's deputy.
Hello. How you doing? How y'all doing today? Good, good. Take a look at your driver's license real quick if I could. See, he's right up on that van, man.
Ooh.
He was right up on the back end of that van. If you're coming from Washington State.
This reminds me.
And you're going where?
About something.
Oh. Oh, okay.
We're slightly punchy. We drive for hours.
Hours, days.
They're driving across the country to their family home in Pennsylvania.
Okay. But do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay?
10 minutes later, they are pulled over again, but this time by Indiana State Police.
I don't have it. In one of the clips where they're talking about the shooting, it seems that Bryan says something about we were just scanning it. I'm very curious if they were listening to a scanner. I thought I had the clip. I will try to find it though and show you guys next time. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was listening to a scanner. You can download an app on your phone and listen to, scanners wherever you want. And I muted that.
Both departments would later say they had no identifying information on the suspect at the time of these stops or the alleged vehicle involved. The Indiana State Police added in another statement that its agency wasn't directed by the FBI to make the
Oops, accidentally exited out of everything. There's a member though. Hold on, thank you. Welcome, Rescue Mom. Thank you. Woofy is correct, obviously. Now, I don't know. There's sometimes she thought she was right a few times and she wasn't, because I thought that the FBI gave him more broad. Let's see. Let's pull up the affidavit real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Okay. Present, share. Okay. Let's see. They talk about going upstairs. This is just the beginning of it where they find the scene. Then we have Dylan's, and her account of everything that happened. Then we have talk about suspect vehicle 1. Let's see. 2011, boom, I knew it. Upon further review, he indicated it could also be a 2011 to 2016. Because, so it said that, okay, well, here it wasn't Moscow police. I was wrong about that. But the forensic examiner initially believed it was a 2011 to 2013. Upon further review, he indicated it could also be a 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra. I love you so much, but that's so funny. Wolfie is a legend. That's okay. I think Xana left the front door slightly ajar when she grabbed the food. The door continued to open a bit, which is what the neighbor walking the dog saw. So do you think that the food was left right there? Was that most likely where it was left and not at the back? I don't know why I always was thinking of it being left at the back, but that doesn't really make sense. If a car pulls up, they would go to that first door most likely. Well, Allie is right. There will be no living with her now. Oh, it's okay. I love you guys. That's a good explanation for it being wide open. And yeah, it was. Okay, you guys, half the workday gone. There you go. Technically, no, you wasn't. I said it was a 2011. I did say like they gave a more broad. I think it said 2015. And then you said, no, they said 2014 to 2016. But they definitely started at 2011. Regardless, why didn't they tell the public? You know what I mean? Because I think that would have made a difference. Think about Bryan's parents. You know, like if they were suspicious of him and then they thought like, I don't know, I just don't understand why they wouldn't have told the public. Oh, here we go. It's okay, Wolfie. We can pretend that you were kind of right too. Pretend. All right, you guys. So that is all I've got. I've got to go get ready so I can go get my little boys. And then, yeah, hopefully tonight I can make time to do a live on Real Talk with all the comments and stuff. Boom. Thank you, LFT. No. I love you guys. You are the best. Really, you are. I appreciate you all so much at my mods and my chat. Boom. All right. I hope you guys have a good day. And it isn't over. Thank you, Terry. Hey, X amount. Please do the live with the comments. I can contribute some. I'm down. I think I have about like 25 saved, and I didn't know if that would be enough. But if you want to contribute, that'd be fun. I mean, seriously, there are some rude ass people on here and on TikTok. Maybe I'll post another TikTok and have about 5 more for us. Bye, Jinlu. You have a great day too. Real Talk is my second channel. It's called Real Talk with Alex. It's just like a place for anything but true crime. So Wolfie has a vault of them. Oh my goodness. All right. There it is. Thank you, Shay. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go get ready. I hope to see you guys later. Yes. Happy birthday to Lex Luthor. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. Class dismissed. Thank you to my mods for being here. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody else. Ooh, it is. It's Friday. Okay. Well, maybe we can do that tonight. All right, I'm going to let you guys go for real this time. I love you, and bye. Bye, Richard Ratliff. Bye, guys. Have a good day. You too, Mary. Bye.